So welcome to Module 7. AIDA and social media are going to be the topics tonight, and there's going to be some fairly involved team work as well. That is going to require collaboration and creativity on the team's parts. So AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And that's the threshold, or that's actually the goal of advertising and promotion. You have to reach those two levels to be effective, 4 levels to be effective. And then we're going to work on social media and some best practices there that I want to go over with you. So first of all, when we look at the AIDA model, it's sort of like an upside down pyramid. It starts with attention, and the attention is how do we capture that? And we're going to look at different examples of how to capture attention in our promotional activities. Next one is down the pyramid is interest. So capturing an audience's attention is important, but it cannot stop there. You have to get them interested, at least in the advertisement, and make it somewhat draws them in, if you will. Then the third one going down the pyramid is desire. You have to get them ideally to want the product. So once they want it, so first one is attention. What is it? And they figure it out. The next step is interest. In interest, they would say I like it. And then desire is when they want it. Now you can understand what it is, what the product or service is. You can like it, you can want it, but you have to be able to get it. And so that's where marketers have to be focused on that. What is action? How do you get the sale? How do you solidify the sale? How do you get the product in the shopping basket for e-commerce, and then to actually make the next click and order it? By the way, you can stop me anytime if there's any questions. So let's look at an example of attention that we're going to use in this model where we look at AIDA. We're going to be looking at the Apple Watch. And so some people say that the best way to attract attention is creative disruption. So that means, you're calling, you're making a call to the out to the audience in a way that is creative, and it disrupts, it breaks existing patterns that they may have. And it can be done in different ways. One is to place advertisements in unexpected situations and locations. And this is often referred to as guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is where you place promotions in areas no one would expect them to be, so they get actually more attention that way. So we're going to be looking at perhaps an example or two about that. And then sometimes you create shock, or sometimes you have very provocative imagery in your ads, or very appealing, or that's why they say, sex sells, because you might get some very attractive people modeling something. That's going to get attention. Now, is it going to get them to want the product? Not necessarily. They may just be looking at the ad, and they may be interested and spend time with the ad, but it doesn't mean they're going to become interested and then want the product and place the order. This was the campaign that Apple launched in back when the Apple Watch was being introduced. And the thing about this picture is you can't tell that's a watch, and you can't tell anything. That's actually what the side of the Apple Watch looks like, but you can't tell from this what it is. And the watch is coming. That was the tagline. What that's supposed to do is capture the attention of the audience. Watch is coming. Well, it doesn't even look like a watch. Then the consumer's thinking, well, I want to find out what this is, because can't even tell that's a watch. So I want to see this for myself. So that's how the attention was created. Then the next stage is interest that must be reached before a campaign can be successful. And you make sure that the information is easy to read and there's illustrations. So now you have to, in a way, you have to sort of educate, especially on a new product like the Apple Watch. You have to educate the audience as to what it is and what it does. And then if you can do that, you're going to get more of your audience to be interested. And you want to convey the most important messages. So you study your target audience, you find out what their interests are. And then you utilize a couple of the features of the Apple Watch that appeals to that target audience. See how far and high you can go. So if somebody likes to climb mountains or go on hikes up and down hills, this tells them their progress here. So through their research, Apple surmised that their target audience would be interested in features like this. So this would be one of the lead features they would start with. And then they might leak out other features that are demanded by their audiences as they go along. But this was to capture the interest. And they're showing what the target audience is interested in. Then the desire. So you have to help your customers. They need a watch, but what they want, the message you need to leave with your audience is, your target audience is, if they need a watch and they've been considering watches, you have to make them want the Apple Watch. So you look at the content that's created, and you want to get them to want it by showing them styles. In the interest phase, you showed some features. Now you want to look at styles, and you want them to imagine having this watch on their wrist. Try to get them to imagine, because if you do, then you could get them to want the product. Sometimes you show the product being used in creative situations. You want to convey the value of the product and why they need it in their lives. So do they? Do they need it in their lives? Probably not. Could they imagine it in their lives? Could they possibly want it in their lives? Possibly. But what this desire-focused ad shows is the different color bands, the different looks that this watch can give the audience, their target audience. So this is this is something that we would really be looking hard at here, as far as getting the customer for desire. So you've gone from attention, captured their attention with the weird picture of the watch and see what's coming next. Then the interest was showing them key features that the target audience would be interested in. And there's 1,000 other features, but you showed like possibly the top one or two. Then you look at the styles that they can imagine this watch on their wrist and how cool it looks, but it doesn't stop there, because then you have to go to action. And the action, the last step of the model, of the AIDA model, has to, because you may be interested in the product, you may want it, but you also might be saying to yourself, I'm going to wait for the price to come down. You know, I do want this, but I don't need it right now. So how do we change that dynamic? How do we get the audience or the customer to want the product now, to place the order? And some subtle imagery here. And you notice this is sort of like this picture of the watch here. It shows the answer the phone. Come on, answer the phone. It's a call coming in. And then they have a special price, a price that is $50 off the normal price. So if you're being offered a price that's $50 off of the original, guess what? That could be the stimulus that would get you to act, that would get you into action. And that's something that you do. Sometimes marketers use things like free shipping if you order a certain amount. Sometimes limited time offers are work as well, limited time. So you've got till tomorrow to place the order. I don't advise anyone to be put themselves under that kind of pressure, because that is something that usually consumers make mistakes when they believe that. Typically, the price will be there tomorrow, and it's a good idea to wait 24 hours before you make an important decision like that. So now I'm going to show you, we looked at a physical product for the Apple Watch. Now I'm going to show you a high-end, very expensive, exclusive hotel. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes, I can see it on my end.
Okay, good. So you
There's
have
no sound to it, but I can see the visual.
Yeah, I don't think there is any sound to this, but this shows you, it shows you some people really having fun in a very exclusive, expensive hotel. The rooms typically can go for $3,000 or $1,000 per night, especially on the, and sometimes more depending on where the room is situated. It's very video driven. It's a lot of you have to have excellent bandwidth to even watch this. It's a very exclusive hotel, and people are having a great time, as you can see. At least these models are. And so what is this? Well, it's trying to get your attention. So it gets you interested. All these pictures of people having a great time. Then to get you to want it, the desire. And then it's just also by really looking at all the things they have to offer. And then they have to have a call to action. And the call to action is reserve now. Now, I've seen promotions on this hotel for off-season at about $400. That's low price, but on season it's well over $1,000. You get a pretty good view of the property. They even have a cool feature here with the live beach cam, and you can see what right now. This is what doesn't look very good, does it? But this is a live picture of the beach from a camera. I'm sorry, of the part of the hotel and the beach, showing, what it is. It doesn't really look that inviting, does it? Well, that's just because, and now the camera's moving. It's because this is a really bizarre weather we're having, to be honest with you. So, very bizarre. Anyway, that's how the AIDA model works. If we hit the logo, it should go back to the main page. That's how it works for a hotel. So any business, product or service, they want to they want to get you attention, pique your interest, get you to want the product, and then finally place the order. And every website should have those features. And the plate, but there should be a reason to have for those. As far as action, you know, for your projects, it might be a special limited time sales offer, that type of thing. Any questions so far?
Not on my end.
Okay. Thank you. Chiming in. Okay, so that's the action. Now, AIDA, I'm going to ask you to apply this, and I'll show you the assignment a little bit, what that's going to look like. And now now we're looking at social media. So social media around the world. Let's look at worldwide. This is as of 2023. So this is, I try to get the most current charts and graphs because it is so, this industry changes so fast. And, you know, Facebook is number one, YouTube number two. And then they list WhatsApp here. I don't really consider WhatsApp it's a communication chat tool around the world, but it's not really a social media platform. Unless there's something about it I don't know. I have WhatsApp, but I don't use it for any social media efforts. Instagram is growing really quickly, and it's already, you know, 2/3 the size of Facebook. Facebook has really stopped growing. And it stopped growing because it's lost the attention and it's just lost the younger audiences. A lot of younger people I talk to when I just do informal polling still have their Facebook accounts, but they don't go there anymore. They're more focused on Instagram, and the younger ones are focused on TikTok. And there's other some Chinese sites are here, and like WeChat is there, and you know, WeChat's really popular in China. A lot of people in the US have WeChat too, because WeChat does everything. You can even purchase, you can live your entire life on WeChat because you can buy things, you can, you know, do everything you want on WeChat. So some of you may know that already, but it just showed you some of the other around the world, some of the popular ones. But anyway, Facebook being number one is a bit deceptive because there's a lot of accounts that are dormant, but they don't disappear. They're still there. So, any questions on that? How many of you guys, are any of you active on Facebook?
I still currently have an active account, yes.
Do you use it much?
Every so often, yes.
You use it for groups by chance?
I think that's the primarily used currently to participating in specific groups.
I believe that's correct. Yes. That is correct. And that is their target right now. And also the fastest growing segment is going to be older, 55 and over, fastest growing segment for people that use it for personal, also for groups too. So, but that is their niche right now, is groups. And anyway, it's a little deceptive when you see this, but that's what it is. Okay. Then we're looking at also in 2023, the share of the global social media users. So at what percentage of overall social media users live in each country? And it's interesting that South America is more than North America. And you have Africa has quite a bit. You count all this up. Europe does too. Eastern Europe has a lot. Eastern Europe's 5%. Eastern Asia is a full 1/3, almost a third of the entire social media universe exists in Eastern Asia. And then Southeast Asia added 10% onto that. And then Southern Asia adds 16%. So if you add these together, you're looking at over 50% of the entire social media population is in this area right here, which is kind of interesting, So, and that's probably expanding. So it really sort of dwarfs North America. Any question on that? It's just interesting to see where the users are. Now I want to go over a concept with you. It's called the 80-20 rule of social media. So when we post content from a business, so business to consumer, we call that B2C, business to consumer. We have to ask ourselves, why does the audience pay attention, and why should they, to my business's social media account? And if you think about it, if you really think about it, why do we go to social media? Why do we care? Why do we check our Facebook or Instagram or TikTok accounts? And if you were to poll consumers, they would tell you that 80% because it's informative, because they want information. It's the 80%, it's either informative, entertaining, or useful. Somehow this social media, it adds value to people's lives from an entertainment perspective, but it's informative, entertaining, or useful. So what we say is that 80% of a business's content that they're posting to their audiences should be informative, entertaining, or useful. And only 20% should be selling, where you put a price tag on something, you promote it on social media, or you say limited time offer, something like that. And the reason for that, the reason of this ratio, which is really weighted in favor of the entertainment, information, useful, it's weighted that way because that's what audiences come to social media sites for. They don't come to be sold. They don't want to be sold. They will accept a certain amount of selling. But a minority of the content should be selling. And another thing we look at is what I found is the best, we call them community managers. So a community manager is someone who manages a business's social media accounts. And there are a lot of businesses sometimes businesses contract that out to outside agencies. Sometimes they do it in-house. They have their own community manager, but we don't call them a social media manager. We call them a community manager because they're managing a community. And they have to give the communities what they want in order to keep them coming back and to follow your business in this case. And what we say is that, and I've proved this out through community management work on my own, is that, most businesses post safe, standard content that appeals to a large audience. Sometimes community managers will, or in-house people like the front desk manager who runs social media for business, they just post things because they have to. And they post the really safe stuff, like stuff that will not get them in trouble. And a lot of it tends to be the 20% variety because they think that's what their businesses want. But in reality, the most successful community managers take risks. In this 20 here. So these people who take some risks and they post content that's a little bit, as we call it, outside the box, tend to be the most successful. And I'm going to show you some examples of this as we go along. Questions so far? I just tagged 3 posts here. They're all in the beer industry. The first one, I would call this of the 20, 20, and 80. I would identify this as the 20% variety. Do you remember 20% variety is selling here? 80% is entertainment, informative, and useful. So what are they doing here? They are saying they're promoting their products. They're showing their product, little pictures of them, not particularly appealing. And they're just posting product. They sell beer, they're showing some of their beers. And guess what? Only 7 people were drawn to that. Only 7 people liked that approach. Which is sort of disappointing if you are this company, because it's not what people want to be entertained. Look at this next one. It's another 20% variety. This is a different company. It's Stone Brewing, Ballast Point, and Ballast Point. So this first Ballast Point shows a beer, but it's one of their dark beers, and it has a very kind of distorted background on purpose, I assume, to bring attention to the beer. But nobody seemed to care. 17 people liked it. A few people commented. This first one, only 7 people liked it, no comments, no shares. This one had 3 comments. But then the next time they posted, they're thinking outside the box. They're trying to entertain their audience. So how do they entertain? Well, this is Halloween, which is a big deal in the U.S. So it's Halloween, and it's where people wear masks and you do trick or treating and all those types of things. And here in Ballast Point is a nautical theme, so it's an ocean type theme. It's in Southern California, ocean theme, and they're showing a skeleton, which is in keeping with Halloween, and they're saying reminiscing the calm before the storm. I'm not sure what that means. Then what beer are you dying for us to bring back? Dropping in below. So they're calling out to their fans, to their followers, to identify a beer that they would like to be brought back. And notice the difference in engagement between these two, the 20 variety and the 80 variety. Look at the difference. 317 likes and loves, 217 comments. That's a massive amount of comments. And 3 people shared it. And by the time this was a few hours after it was posted, people liked this so much. It got to 1,000 likes and 500 comments and like 20 shares by the time it was done. And by the time the next day rolled around, it just goes to show you when businesses think outside the box. And by the way, it's hard to do that. I think that's easy. It's not. Taking risks, thinking outside the box, being entertaining, asking a poll question, what beer would you dying for them to bring back? Dying has to do with death, because this is a skeleton. Now they're like a ghost ship out at sea. Looks like it's in the evening. There's the moon there. So it's just a really cool picture. And audiences liked it. Obviously, they were entertained by it. And so there's an example of the 80-20 rule. Is it easy to capture that? No, not really. It's not that easy. Sometimes you post some content that is really, really engaging. And you God, I wish I could do that again. It's hard to do it. Sometimes you have a great idea, you use it, it works, but it doesn't always work. But the taking risks is how you create content like this, like the skeleton. You know, it was something that was used and it worked well, and there you go. So that's the 80-20 rule in action. I can show you tons of other examples of it, but we're not going to do that right now. But I just want to show you a key example. Any question about the 80-20 concept?
I had a question, not specifically about the 80-20 concept, but more about responding to negative backlash on social media. I've worked with a company before that felt very threatened about negative comments on public forums and felt compelled to just kind of give product away or give free services away. What's a good approach for that, and what's a good way for businesses to handle that moving forward, and when to take a threat seriously and when to escalate it?
Okay, I tell you what, save that question till we get to the last slide, okay?
Okay, will do.
Okay. So, but I wanted to go over user-generated content. Very, very important. And I'm going to there's a video you can watch if you want to. These slides are posted, so you can there's creative uses of user-generated content. It's sort of a tutorial from this woman who's pretty good at it. But I want to show you, this is the ultimate generator of user content is GoPro. Never is a word mentioned in their advertising. There's no dialogue, no print, nothing. They're just showing the GoPro being used in action, in an action environment. So here, let's look at what they do and what they offer here.
You know what's absurd? Taco Tuesday is trademarked. Fortunately, someone's
Isn't it amazing or what? So that's not a single word was mentioned, right? So all of their entire YouTube page is from user-generated content. Not all businesses can do that. They don't have action products like that, but they'll use content generated by their audience. If it's a restaurant, some really beautiful pictures of sunset, around the restaurant or something like that. Some of the food, they encourage their users to post on social media, and they will publish to their greater audience if it's something they like. They think it fits the brand image. So that's something that we want to really focus on is user-generated. It's very powerful. So, and that's something that we want to be really focused on. And then I want to show you, speaking of that, I want to show you how video is used here. So video obviously is taken over social media. So not every business, not every business lends itself well to it, but many do. And we're going to watch this.
What if I told you that social media has changed forever and it's never going back? Marketer or creator, then you have every right to be concerned. As what started as a slow drip and how the social platforms started changing and favoring certain kinds of content over others has turned into a full-blown flood that's drowning everything that doesn't align with this new style of content in its path. And it's leaving a lot of people scared and confused and not sure what they should do in order to get social media to work for them. Now, some people are fighting back with words. Others are taking to Google in order to try to figure out what's going on. Some are starting petitions in order to try to gather enough signatures to convince the social media giants to change the way they operate. And some, in what may be the most ironic example of all, are simply posting their complaints about social media on social media, which is kind of proof that soon, because at least for now, it's the best option we got. But that's not the point of this video. Help you recognize and capitalize and french fries on the biggest social media opportunity available to you right now, a kind of content that I'm calling video vitamins. So let me tell you exactly what those are and how you can use them to vent and relaunch and reinvigorate your entire social media marketing. Also, a big thank you to HubSpot for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. For now, let's talk video vitamins. Video vitamins are tiny little value-packed video clips that deliver a ton of value in a short period of time and have the potential to rack up thousands, even millions of views right from your very first one. This is because the social media platforms and the algorithms behind them have clued into the fact that video vitamins are the kind of content that your audience wants. And the people get what the people want. Because the social media platforms know that the key to keeping their billion-dollar empires running is keeping people active and as addicted to their platform as possible. Now, to the average person, these video vitamins are usually referred to by their more commonly known names of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikToks. But video vitamins are so much more than that. Oh, so much more. These aren't just silly dances on TikTok or people ranting on Facebook. You know what really grinds my gears? Or short clips taken from longer YouTube videos. Because video vitamins have a strategy behind them, a series of emotional and psychological hot buttons that you want to push, and a style and a pace that you want to adhere to, at least if you want to give your content any chance of success. Not to mention, video vitamins are not only good for the audience that you're creating them for, but they're also good for you as the creator of them, as this kind of content helps build trust and authority and goodwill better than any kind of text or image-based content could ever hope to. That said, there are a few dangerous mistakes that you aware of and avoid at all costs. That is, if you don't want your video vitamins to completely repel and gross out your audience. Banana flavored vitamins, ew. But I'll talk more about those mistakes and how you can avoid them later in the video. For now, let's dive into video vitamin strategy. When it comes to the content and what kind of subjects, topics, and styles work best with these kind of videos, there are a ton of options available, including doing a before and after video, sharing a secret hack, doing a common questions, giving advice, creating a how-to or tutorial style video, sharing a fun fact, or hopping on whatever the latest trend is in your industry. There is no one-size-fits-all strategy here, and you're going to have to find the overlap between the kinds of content you enjoy creating and the kinds of content your audience wants to see. So my best advice is to just start with whatever one you want, and then try another and another. That said, there is a non-negotiable element here when it comes to structuring your short-form content that you need to pay special attention to. That has to do with the way that people consume these kind of videos and how to design them to be as interesting, engaging, and yes, even as possible.
Want to make the switch to Shopify? Here's how to do it in a few easy steps. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com and
see, here's the deal. When it comes to creating short form video content, time is not on your side. I'll talk more about this when I go over some of the biggest mistakes that you want to avoid. But for now, just know that when it comes to video vitamin content, less really is more. For example, if you have a video idea on the top 3 tips for how to do something, well, try to cut it down to 1 per video. If you have a story to share or to tell, well, cut it down to just the bullet points or just the main takeaway lesson. Or if you're creating a how-to or tutorial style video, well, then stick to just the basic high-level steps and save the in-depth explanation for a longer form video later down the road. But most importantly of all, you want to pay special attention to these 3 different sections of each and every single short form video you create. Part 1 is the first 3 seconds. This is where you need to hit them with your hook, your promise, a shocking statement, or the value that they're going to get through the rest of the short form video. For example, this pen does something that no other pen can do. Or going to college is the single worst investment that you could ever make. Or did you know that houseplants are part of a global conspiracy to take over the world? Next is part 2. This is the main body of your content. Here, your goal is to just keep the good stuff coming, making sure that it's clear and short and as concise as possible. Do your best to try to edit or trim out any unnecessary words or thoughts or ideas. Again, the goal here is to try to give as much value as is humanly possible in 50 or 30 or 60 seconds. And then part 3 is where I see most short form videos just go so wrong by hinting or giving away the fact that the end of the video is coming. For example, ending with something like, so to wrap it all up, or in conclusion, or all right, well, guess that's it. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Or essentially anything else that lets them know that the end of the video is coming and it's time for them to move on to something. A better plan is to end on a high note. Give them something awesome and then cut the video, which gives you a better chance of having them rewatch the video by default when it just loops again, or by decision when they choose to rewatch it again in order to better understand what you had to say. Next, here's a piece of advice that you probably something that you're going to want to start doing when you're creating your content. And that is you're going to want to start filming your videos horizontally, not vertically. But Adam, aren't we going to be posting our video vitamins as Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikToks, which are all vertical video platforms? So wouldn't it make more sense to just hold my phone or camera vertically to make things easier? It's a good thought, other Adam. Nice hat, by the way. Thanks. But there are a few reasons why shooting vertically isn't actually the best plan. First off, short video content on Reels, Shorts, and TikTok are all 1080 pixels wide by 1920 pixels high, which gives you a high definition vertical video. But most phones and cameras nowadays are capable of shooting in 4K, which provides around 4 times more resolution than 1080p. This is cool because it means that you can shoot your video horizontally in 4K, crop in on the center part, and still end up with the max allowed resolution of a 1080p video. And to do this, all you need to do is go to your phone or camera settings, turn on 4K, and then enable either grid or thirds grid, which is going to help show you what's going to appear in and out of the frame. And what this means for you is that for no extra work, you now have a horizontal and a vertical video, which means you can use either or both, however you like. This also acts as kind of a social media insurance policy, as even though vertical video is the main thing right now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be. So it's nice to have the option to crop your video in whatever way is going to work best for you. For example, way back in the day, in 2017, I remember Buffer publishing an article showing how square format video was delivering the best results of all. So things change. The other thing you can do to make it easier to create better short form vertical videos is to essentially film long videos with the idea and the intention of taking the best parts out later to use as shorts, or creating a string or series of short form videos with the intention of re-recording them all later as a longer form video. But the best advice of all to really capitalize on this opportunity right now is to spend just a few minutes thinking through and planning your short form content strategy. And to help you do that, I want to introduce you to HubSpot's social media content calendar template. So let me walk you through that now. HubSpot's social media content calendar is a free template that you can download to help you manage and plan your entire social media content strategy.
He's pitching a product. We don't really need that right now. But yeah, I think you agreed with me. You'll agree he had some pretty good ideas. Oh, the last thing I wanted to show you was hashtags. Hashtags are important because they can coalesce or revolve around communities of users and bring attention to your post, your social media posts. How many hashtags is too many? How many isn't enough? That's the question. We're going to watch this short video on hashtags.
Hashtag YOLO, hashtag blessed, hashtag outfit of the day. Oh, with a lab coat. Oh, hello. Should I be using hashtags more strategically? I'm Peter from Hootsuite social media team, and this is Hootsuite Labs, where we teach you the science of social media marketing, how it works, and how to be successful. Today, we're here to answer your most pressing questions about Instagram hashtags. If you're here for tactical advice, skip ahead in the timestamps below. If you want to refresh on the fundamentals, keep watching. Why do I need to use hashtags on Instagram? You're a brand actively looking to get more impressions, likes, followers, conversions. Hashtags are a free way to expand your reach to a wider audience. And that's why you should use them, or at least experiment. Okay, second question. How do hashtags work? Do you know what a hashtag looks like? And you know that when you tap them, they lead you to hashtag pages where you can see every post with that hashtag ranked by the algorithm. From Instagram's perspective, hashtags are a tool that do two things. First, they categorize your posts by topic, which helps with the second function. Hashtags also show people content they might like. In other words, hashtags help the algorithm help users. So when it comes to growing your account, the best case scenario is as follows. Post a really great piece of content using a hashtag that's really relevant to your audience and to your content and all that good stuff. And then your post gets tons of engagement from your followers. So Instagram shows it to new people at the top of the hashtag page or in their feeds if they follow that hashtag. And then you get more impressions, likes, comments, and followers. It's a good thing. And you can tell that this is happening if you see a jump in impressions coming from people who aren't your followers. You have a business or creator account and check your post insights, which will tell you how many views are coming from that particular hashtag. Sometimes hashtags can help you hit the explore page, and we've got a video all about that right over here. You can check that out. Third question. How many hashtags should I use on my post? So Instagram allows you to include up to 30 hashtags on a feed post or 10 on a story. According to statistics, the most common number of hashtags to use on Instagram is between 1 and 3. So how many hashtags should you use to optimize for reach? Well, we've seen a bunch of magic numbers floating around out there, 13, 8. The most credible number, if we had to choose one, in our opinion, is 11. But there's definitely no one size fits all answer. It really depends on what you're doing. In our experience with Hootsuite's Instagram account, adding another relevant active hashtag isn't going to hurt. The question is, can you find 30 hashtags that are valuable and relevant to your audience? And that leads us to the next question. How do I find good hashtags to use? Good as in the right hashtags. Okay, this is where we talk about strategy. And there are a dozen of arbitrary, mathy sounding hashtag strategies out there with catchy names, but for Instagram pros, it's all about research. The first step is quantitative research, checking out a hashtag's popularity and relevance according to the numbers. Whenever you type in a hashtag, Instagram will show you how many times it's been used. It will also auto-populate related hashtags, but this data is only so useful. It doesn't say whether the hashtag is popular today or this year or like years ago. And it only ever suggests hashtags that start with the same word or letters you type in. Step to level up your hashtag game with qualitative research. Use social listening to zero in on the hashtag your dream customer is searching for. Look at which hashtags your competitors and customers are using and monitor those hashtag pages to see what the posts are like. The best way to do this kind of iterative ongoing research is setting up Instagram hashtag screens in a tool like Hootsuite. So you have multiple searches with real-time results at your fingertips whenever you need it. As you research what works for your audience, you might end up using hashtags from a bunch of different categories. Location-related hashtag, product-related hashtag, or hey, even special event or seasonal hashtags. Who doesn't love a Christmas hashtag? And you'll probably find that broad, ultra-popular hashtags can pull traffic, but they might not pull engaged followers the way a niche hashtag can. Branded hashtag can help inspire your audience, but a hashtag that is too specific won't move the needle. A quick question. How do I hide my hashtag? Okay, so if you don't want your hashtags dominating your captions, there are two easy places to tuck them aside. First, you just add some line breaks after your caption. After 3 lines, your hashtags will drop neatly below the fold, so no one scrolling past will see them. Or you can place your hashtags in the comments where they're less likely to get in the way. What happens if I use a ban hashtag? According to Instagram, certain hashtags aren't searchable because they're consistently associated with posts that don't follow community guidelines, usually because people have abused them with spams and scams, but also sometimes because they're just not healthy for people. They're a little naughty. If you use one of the forbidden hashtags, it's going to cause you some problems. First, it won't show your post to any interested users, and it's also likely that Instagram won't show the post to anyone at all. If you want to hear what we know about the so-called shadow banning, let us know in the comments below, and we might explore that topic in next video. All right, that's all we've got on hashtag strategy for today. If you watched this far, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, the notification bell, so you know when the next video is live, and tell us what you think in the comments below. Hey, and remember, sign up for your free 30-day Hootsuite trial.
They're selling Hootsuite now. Okay. Anyway, you did mention a couple things. If you want to, hashtags can be annoying if you put them 3 lines below, you know, on the text area, they will disappear on a casual search by a user. You won't see them. They won't drive people crazy. Another thing, like he said, you can put the hashtags in the comments. It's another sneaky way to put the hashtags in, and they will still benefit the post and bring it. So I'm going to be asking you guys in the teams to develop hashtags, maybe 3 per post. Now let's go to the team work before I end the recording here. The project work, I want you to develop an ad campaign using the AIDA approach. What do we mean by an ad campaign? I'm talking about just an ad, if you will, and you can make a campaign out of an ad. It can be, and you can actually also look at competitors, what they do. If you want to model it and show what they did, that can work also. But you'd have to identify how it reaches the threshold of attention, interest, desire, and action. So you can actually model somebody or basically use someone else's creative work, or you can create your own. Social media, I'd like you to develop an overall strategy or basically what social media platforms would you use for your business? Name 2 or 3 of them, identify 2 or 3. And I'd like you to model it. Again, you can model or in parentheses, copy a competitor, or you can create your own content that reflects the 80-20 rule. Try to identify posts that be creative, take risks, or look at what your competitor did risk-wise and use those in screenshots. Identify one of the 20 variety of selling and 2 of the 80 variety, which has more to do with information, entertainment, and so we want to have 2 focused on the 80 variety and 1 on the 20 variety. And then I would like you to, based on the video vitamins, assess how you would use video clips. You know, you either find a competitor that uses them effectively and how they do it. Maybe post a click in your presentation, or you can create your own. If you created your own, it would be a storyboard. You would not be creating an ad out of nothing. You wouldn't be doing that because you don't have the technical tools to do that. You may have the creativity, but you may not have the technical tools. So if you want to create your own ad, use a storyboard. Have like 8 panels and just draw a little story as to what the ad would look like, or you can model a competitor. Then I'd like you to finally, for your 80-20 concept, 80-20 rule posts, I'd like you to have at least 3 hashtags for each one. That is the teamwork. It's quite a bit there. So that being said, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll